now declare the meeting open and welcome everyone and the home viewers and on this cool night. I see everyone is in attendance, including our two youth members. Welcome. Any conflicts of interest amongst the council members? No, thank you. Is that you or me?
The next item is item 4, adoption of the published agenda for the February 16th, 2015 regular council meeting.
Moved by Councillor Caxero, supported by Councillor Snively. Any questions? Councillor Vokes.
I do have something under new business.
And the purple one.
There we go. Thank you, Your Worship. I do have something under new business tonight, irrelevant to what you have under new business. It was just pointed out to me in the hall.
What does he mean? What does he have? What does he need? Through your worship, what is it you need to add to the agenda, Councillor Vokes?
Over a tourism grant that has been taken away from the Heritage Museum, and it will take me merely a couple minutes on my request.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? Anything? All in favor of the motion? Motion carries.
Item 5A, adoption of minutes, the January 19th, 2015 regular council meeting.
Supported by Councillor Bondi and Councillor Vokes. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries.
Item B, February 9th, 2015 special council meeting.
Councillor Snively and Councillor Caxero. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries.
Under public presentations, item 6A, Kirk Stephen Vivier, Essex Bell River Taxi, regarding taxi licensing costs.
Mr. Vivier, I don't see him. Mr. Vivier, you out in the hall? Okay, should he come in before our other delegations are finished, we'll let him come, okay?
Item B, Essex Region Conservation Authority, March is Maple Month, and there are two delegates from the Conservation Authority here this evening, Danielle Briol-Stubing and Curator Education Coordinator Christine Ives.
Welcome, ladies. You have the front and center. Purple button on the top should get you your speakers on. And welcome.
Thank you, Your Worship, and members of Council, and might we particularly thank our current IRCA board members, Councillor Bjorkman and also Councillor Snively, and former IRCA board member Sherry Bondi, who's also a longtime volunteer at the John R. Park Homestead. So thank you for welcoming us this evening. My colleague Chris Ives, Curator Education Coordinator, and I are here tonight to invite the town of Essex to officially declare March as Maple Month in the beautiful town of Essex. As you know, the John R. Park Homestead is the only living farmhouse museum this side of London. In 2010, it received the Russell K. Cooper Award as the best living history museum in Ontario. Annually, we welcome nearly 15,000 visitors to the 19-acre site to experience life in the 1850s and to connect with nature. Our costumed interpreters recreate pioneer times and connect our past to the continued need for human and environmental conservation. Annually, the Essex Region Conservation Authority hosts a number of themed events at the homestead, and the most popular is our Maple program, celebrating the first taste of spring while promoting the cultural and natural heritage and history of maple trees in the region.
For over 30 years, the homestead has celebrated the spring tradition with tapping the trees and making of pure maple syrup. This year, we've expanded our efforts, deeming all of March as IRCA's Maple Month. We'll be working with our staff, our over 90 volunteers throughout the season, offering a number of events, including Essex County's only Maple Syrup Festival. We also will offer a number of March break and other programs geared toward families. The homestead works with a local maple producer to offer each of the season's 3,000 plus visitors an opportunity to enjoy a sweet maple treat. We will be commemorating the 50th anniversary of Canada's national flag. As you probably noted, the anniversary date was yesterday. It first flew on Parliament Hill in February of 1965. The maple syrup programming gives the people of Windsor, Essex, a unique opportunity to get in touch with a truly Canadian tradition which dates back to our country's first people. But this celebration is not just about maple syrup. It's also dedicated to the science behind the maple trees, which are a mainstay of our local environment. Our educators will be teaching people about the science of maple syrup making, the importance of maple trees, and tying their survival into broader issues of ecological sustainability, locally and beyond. Maple trees are a consistent part of IRCA's tree planting efforts throughout Windsor, Essex, and we'll be using Maple Month as an opportunity to promote our local environment and our environmental work as well. We're reaching out to the town of Essex this evening to assist in the celebration of this important part of our Canadian heritage by asking that you formally declare March as Maple Month in the town. It is with your support that we hope more local citizens will seek out our sweet offerings and learn about the history of maple in our region, as well as its ecological significance. Thank you in advance for your consideration. We look forward to celebrating Maple Month with you and all of the citizens in the town of Essex and beyond.
That's your presentation already. Thanks. Thank you very much. Council members, we're looking for receipt of the Councillor Caxero and supported by Councillor Snively, all the recommendations that are in this little agenda. You know, have it put on Facebook and make the month, okay? Any questions of the delegations by council members? Councillor Bondi.
Thank you. I take pride in volunteering at John R. Park Homestead. It's such a beautiful site. And I just, you know, even if you've gone recently in the last year, every event that they have is a unique experience. And the staff there works so hard to make everybody's dreams come true. I volunteered in the fall at the Frozen event, and all of the little kids that came dressed up, and all of the parents dragging them out all the way back, and the little girls screaming, "I don't want to go!" It was such an amazing day. So I'm glad that we are dedicating March as Maple Month, and hopefully I can make a chance to get out, but we need to really support our homestead and encourage residents and from Essex County and above and beyond to go check out the homestead. Even if you've checked it out recently, it's just an amazing museum. And we're glad that Chris is taking over and going to follow in Janet's wonderful footsteps, and I'm excited to see the new programming in the future too.
Thank you. Councillor Vokes.
Thank you, Your Worship. I want to extend a olive branch to suggest to you that at the conclusion of your presentation tonight, and I think I can speak for not only myself but my colleagues on council, if we can assist in any fashion moving forward in terms of this month, then we can all be contacted through email or through contact information on the town website. So, in speaking for myself, if I can assist in any way, feel free to contact me at any time.
Anyone else? Yes, Olivia.
I'd just like to say I really like this, and I'd love to be able to incorporate it into the schools and make the students aware of the homestead and of Maple Month and the history that the homestead holds.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, if I may respond, that's wonderful. We'd be delighted to do that, so please feel free to get in touch with us. We'll leave you our contact information.
Thank you very much. On the motion, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you very much, ladies. Good luck in the future.
Item C, Essex Memorial Spitfire Committee. We have Chairperson Suzanne Allison and Co-Chair Bob Swadling to provide an update on the honor wall and dedication ceremony.
welcome, and we'll include you up there too, Mike.
I was going to say that we also have Mike Beal with us, and for some reason I didn't write his name on the delegation form.
Thank you for having me.
So, thank you very much. Thank you so much, Your Worship, for the opportunity to address Council tonight. It's a pleasure to be here again and to bring Council up to date on the success that our committee has had with the Spitfire Monument so far. We also wish to advise how we're doing with the honor wall. Thank you to the administrative staff. I can't say enough how much help it is when we call and we have a question, and everyone is so polite and everyone is so kind, so to help us with all the little steps that we need to go through. So, seated with me at the front desk is Mike Beal and Bob Swadling from our committee, from the Essex Memorial Spitfire Committee. And our committee, I'm just going to quickly introduce them. Behind us is Monica Totten, Mike Kohutch, just wave, Joe Gibson, Karen Billing. Eric could not be here tonight, and I think that's it. And, yes. And then I would also like to introduce Al Timmons. So Al Timmons is here. Al Timmons owns tshirtmonkey.ca in Essex. So Al has really helped us a lot since last fall and has offered his store on Talbot Street in Essex to be our Spitfire depot. So I just want everyone to be aware of how he's involved with our committee. And then, of course, I want to introduce you to Jerry Schinkel. So Jerry Schinkel is a former mayor of Essex from a few years back, and now retired former owner of Schinkel's Meat Market, and he has also stepped on board to help us with our fundraising and awareness going forward. So welcome to Al and Jerry. Our initial mission and goal when we formed our committee back in January last year was to honor veterans. Can you hear me? Namely men and women that built, flew, and died for our country during World War II, those who served in the Royal Air Force and the Royal Canadian Air Force. The building and erecting of the Spitfire, painted with invasion stripes, it exactly matches the Spitfire that Flight Lieutenant Jerry Billing flew over Normandy on D-Day. And that is the form of the honor that we chose for this monument. This monument is and was our gift to the town of Essex. We want families to come and visit this solemn place to reflect on the sacrifices that their family members, their friends, and their neighbors made. So the last time we were here in front of council was June the 16th, 2014. At that meeting, we were asking permission to have the Spitfire mounted in Heritage Gardens versus the Essex Arena. We wanted Heritage Gardens because it was already a solemn place. It already had the bricks of the members' names of our founding members in the town of Essex. We knew the silo district was being discussed, and we wanted our monument, or the monument that we were putting up, to help Essex become a place to visit and enjoy and shop. At that meeting, we announced our first major donation was received and that the Spitfire was ordered out of England. We learned that our lead time of 12 to 16 weeks was reduced to 4 weeks because 2 other companies whose Spitfires were in production said, no, don't bother making ours, make Essex's Spitfire first. So we were overwhelmed and very pleased with that generosity. GB Replicas was the name of the company that was building our Spitfire. GB Replicas at the same time said, oh, by the way, we're going to paint your Spitfire for you too. And that saved us about $30,000. So it was huge. It was a huge meeting, and you might remember that there was tears here that day. So fast forward. In July, we participated in the Essex Fun Fest. A1 Chinese Restaurant had a fundraiser for us. We did many presentations to donors in and around Essex County, and we were ecstatic to receive donations from the Essex BIA, Unifor, and Ken Nut Ford. In August, we were heartbroken to hear of the unexpected passing of Priscilla Vokes Campbell. Priscilla was in the process of painting a portrait of Jerry Billing for us, and we were going to raffle that portrait off at our fundraiser that was just coming up at the Legion. The Spitfire then arrived in pieces in the back of a transport truck on August 29th. So, in quick time, we put together that Spitfire. We had a media day, then we had an open house at the arena on September 7th. So I'm just kind of giving you a quick little rundown of how time flew. September 14th, we had a parade down Main Street in Essex. September 21st, the week after, we dedicated and consecrated the Spitfire Priscilla. On September 25th, the Windsor Essex paramedics transported Jerry Billing, who is 93 years old, out of the long-term care home to the Spitfire in person so he could see the Spitfire, the replica that he flew on D-Day. In just a second here, I just want to say, you have no idea how proud I am and how proud we are of our committee. We are a squadron, we are a team, and we are friends, and this has just made us family. We could have never done this. What people thought was unimaginable, we could have never done it without us being determined and having the will and the determination to just do what we did. We have so many people to thank besides each other. We have business owners, we have contractors, we have other people that just helped and gave money and did labor for free. Sending thank you cards, which we did to everyone, just doesn't seem enough, and we're just going to keep saying thank you. We didn't have much time after everything got done that we've already started digging back into phase 2, which is putting up the wall, which was always part of the plan, so that the public could see all the names of all the people who this monument is for and who it's being dedicated to. So we've had fundraisers, we've had press conferences, we've had meetings. We're asking again for the community to keep sending us their family names, because we want everyone to be recognized who fought in World War II in the Royal Air Force and the Canadian Air Force. Our initial guess when we first started on the wall was that we were going to have 600 or so names. 600 turned into 800, 800 turned into 1,000, and so our wild success, I guess, is that at this point today, we have 1,367 names going on this wall. Our initial wall was, quoted for just under $15,000. The wall now has been redesigned twice, and it's twice that price. So we are in awe of all the emotion and all of the feedback that we are getting from the community. And I'm not just talking Essex, I'm talking Windsor, Leamington, Kingsville, Harrow, Bell River, Tecumseh, Windsor. So all of those communities. Everyone tells us a story. Everyone is telling us and emotional about what their family member did and what position they did or what rank they had. So we're very emotionally involved as well. Did I mention that we also have selected the date? So for those of you who don't know, we have another dedication date coming up. So Sunday, May 24th, rain or shine, 2 p.m., be under the Spitfire, and we are going to have a wonderful, wonderful ceremony again. We have a big job ahead of us still, and I'm almost done. We have a big job ahead of us still because we now still have to do the groundwork, which is the foundation, the cement work, the flag poles that need to go up, the lighting, and probably some a little extra electrical. So Doug. So we're working on that, and we're working with the town to make sure that we have it all in place. We have 2 requests from council tonight, and I'm just wrapping up. We are respectfully asking town council if they would, when we're ready to purchase the granite to write the check, if the town would write the check for us using your charitable status account so that we can save money on the HST that's payable. There was a conversation between Randy and Donna Hunter, and Donna Hunter said that we can save the HST if we do it through your account. So that's our first question, our first request. And the second request is for advice, because you'll remember that when we met last time, council gave us $1,000 to go towards the Spitfire. And we're just wondering if it would be proper etiquette, or if you would help us when we asked the other communities, the other towns, if they would be willing to donate a small amount or an amount similar to that to help us with the final preparation of the groundwork. So that's our second request, because that would really help. Thank you very much for listening, and do you have any questions?
Can we get a motion to receive, and then we'll discuss after the two proposals? Can we get that? Okay. Councillor Caxero and Deputy Mayor Malash, questions of the council member, or of the delegation? Okay. Oh, Councillor Vokes?
Not questions, but certainly comments. And I will be putting a motion forward when the time is right to support the purchase of the wall, and I'm hoping to get a seconder of that through the town under the taxable donation opportunities. I was just reflecting back on, Suzanne, when you sent the first email in terms of coming to council, and I also looked at one from Mike Beal around the same time frame, and those emails are an average of 4 a day since June 6th, the June 9th, 2014. An average of 4 emails a day in direction to all of us on that committee, what are we going to do? And as a result of that, now obviously we have a Spitfire plane raised, and I may be a little biased to it, raised in my daughter's name, that we are all so proud of. So with that being said, I look around in the room and I look at this council, I look at the previous council, and even the previous council before that, the work and our endeavors to vitalize our downtown corridor. And nothing has done it more than the committee before me. So if I had a hat on right now, I would take my hat off to you. I don't have that. So I just want to say to all of you, on behalf of my daughter, my family, and certainly myself as a councillor in the town of Essex, I want to thank you so very, very, very much for all your work, all of you. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure and an honor. No crying today.
Anyone else? Councillor Snively.
I would also like to thank you for, that's a big accomplishment done. And along with Councillor Vokes, I would support any donation from our council to support that. Thank you.
Ready for the, Councillor Bjorkman.
And I would just quickly like to thank you for all the work you've done in my previous position with the BIA. It was a great working relationship, and the things that we're looking for our downtown, we really believe that you have created an environment for this kickstart to it. So for all your efforts, for all your work from many of our businesses, a big thank you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Thank you.
Ready for the question? All in favor of the motion to receive? To receive. Now we're, Councillor Vokes, you were prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll put a motion forward that the council of the town of Essex support the request of the Essex Memorial Spitfire Committee that the purchase of the granite wall will be done through the town of Essex under a taxable donation. Hang on. Through the town.
I think the clerk's prepared to reword it for you, Councillor Vokes.
That's fine.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Through your worship, I just want to make sure that your motion means that the town purchased the granite on their behalf in order to save on the HST.
That's fine. Yes,
Okay.
please and thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Snively supports that motion. Now, they had two requests of us. We're going to deal with the other one separately? Or, okay. Anything to the motion? Councillor Caxero.
Through your worship to Donna Hunter, just point of clarification, I believe that the savings is not the full amount of the HST, it's 11% of the HST?
I think that's correct.
Donna?
Through your worship, basically, of the 13%, all that has to be paid is a little over 1% of that tax. So instead of costing 33,000, the 29,000 plus the HST, it would be just over 30,000.
Good. Any further questions to the motion? All in favor of the motion? Motion carries. Councilor Vokes?
Thank you, Worship. And secondly, I'm going to put a motion forward that we find the money to support the $1,000 contribution, but I want to take a moment on that motion because on Wednesday evening, myself and Suzanne Allison will be here along with the committee, and we will be approaching County Council. So Richard and or Deputy Mayor and Mayor, get ready for that. We will be approaching County Council to get them to collectively agree to take back to each and every one of their own personal councils that they too support a $1,000 contribution towards the wall. And the reason we're doing that is because in terms of the amount of people and the names, and again, Suzanne, that number, how many is it we at right now?
1,367, but I know there's more that I don't have on the list.
So we got 1,400 names. Could I get you to turn your mic off, Suzanne, please? So thanks. So we have 1,400 names, right? And out of those 1,400 names, they come from every municipality and even the city of Windsor. And I even sent an email to Suzanne requesting that we go before Windsor City Council for the same contribution. So that $1,000 contribution will be lobbied to be given by each municipality up to including the city of Windsor. So I'm hoping to save us some time in terms of the amount of time we have leading up to the 24th, that council will find a way to support that $1,000 tonight in that motion. Thank you.
Okay, we have a supporter. Councilor Bjorkman. Any questions to that motion? All in favor of the motion? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much to the delegation for all your hard work. Thanks.
No, go ahead, Mike.
Through your worship, we have one more item. Just a point of clarification. Suzanne Allison is our chairperson now. The committee as a whole decided that they needed somebody better than Bob Swadling and Mike Beal, and they threw us out, and God love her, Suzanne managed to take over for us, and we're delighted about that, absolutely delighted. We have one more thing we'd like to do. Sir, if we may approach. Committee, folks?
Yes, sir.
Bob Swadling? That was the time. Suzanne, please, if you wouldn't mind going up there, yeah. I'm going to be the spokesman here just for the moment till we get organized, and I'll come forward. This is something that we want to present to Councillor Vokes. He is our liaison with council. He's not a member of our committee. And it is with his guidance, his strength, and his friendship that we have been successful. On behalf of the committee, sir, open the box. We dare you. We've been waiting a while to do this. This is for your desk. And it is Priscilla.
Before the committee leaves, I hope you just turn around. The press is here. They'd like to take a picture, no doubt. Okay?
Bob and his business, it's an actual, very much replica of Priscilla, the Spitfire plane that was named downtown in the memory of my daughter. It's taken all I got right now, not to get emotional. It's I miss my daughter truly. I think that goes without saying it. So I appreciate this. It's so heartfelt, and for those not involved in it, they may not understand it. But to me, this is as big as life to me, especially when I look at it, named it in my daughter's associate committee and council and administration, who all helped in getting the plane, in wreck. So I'm so grateful. Thank you, people. Thank you very much. Yeah, please.
Come on, you guys.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad I wore my glasses tonight.
Got me going, too. There's no effect on us whatsoever.
Thank you very much. Do we get a-
Item 8, reports from administration. A is local boards, committees, procedures, and best practices.
Councilor Caxero,
Move to receive and adopt
okay,
document.
supported by Deputy Mayor Malash. Any questions to the motion? All in favor? Motion carries.
Item B is corporate services report number 2015-001. It's the 2015 spay and neuter voucher program, and there are 4 recommendations that go along with the report.
Move to receive and support the 4 recommendations.
So by Councilor Bundy, supported by Deputy Mayor Malash. Any questions? Councilor Caxero.
Through your worship, I know that in part of the recommendations, it is to get rid of the portion that was for low income because it wasn't being used. But I wonder if it wouldn't be a good idea to keep a nominal amount of money. I'll say $750, seeing as that would be 10 vouchers. That could be kept from year to year, replenished whenever it need be, just so that in the case where somebody does come forward that needs a voucher, if all the vouchers are gone for that year, they don't get left out of the loop. I realize they could still pull off of the 175 vouchers that are there, but if they're gone, there'd be no recourse for them for that year. So if we kept that amount in the budget and then just carry it forward, if it doesn't get used this year, we carry it forward to the following year, and then when we see that that's been diminished to a certain amount, we'd replenish it in that next budget year.
Deputy Mayor Malash.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. Question is to Donna Hunter. And I think that, Donna, the reason why I'm asking this question to you is because I think you're tracking this and keeping, or your department is? Okay, your department. What I'm wondering is, I know that we've had 132 vouchers used last year, 53 that were not. Do we know which ones were not used, like which areas?
Through your worship, are you referring to whether it's a feral cat or a low-income voucher?
Specific areas. I'm just wondering, what I wanted to know was, are all parts of our municipality using this program? Or is it just certain areas? Is it just urban related, or is it urban and rural people that are using this, and so on? I'd kind of like to maybe have a follow-up report that tells me where those requests are being made at. Are they being made at pockets just like in Tully Meadows, or and so on, is what I'm getting at.
Through you, I don't have those statistics at this point, but we could certainly gather those and report back to council with them. But I do know that they're used throughout the municipality, not just in the urban centers. There may be more use in the urban centers just because there's more feral cats, but I can't say that for sure until we actually pull the stats.
Okay, thank you. I wouldn't mind if you would at some point in time. I won't put a date on it or anything like that, but when you have an opportunity. Thank you.
Anything further? Councillor Bondi.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think I would have a question to Donna, too. As with Councillor Coxero's recommendation, is that something administratively we can do with no problem, holding 10 vouchers back? Because I would agree with that as well. I see, it's unfortunate that we haven't had a high uptake with the low-income vouchers, because it really is a two-prong approach to reducing the amount of unwanted animals, but we just haven't had the uptake. But administratively, is there a lot of paperwork with keeping 10 vouchers low income?
Through you, Your Worship, we get a lot of requests for the application. What happens with the low income is we get a lot of requests for the application, but then they don't follow through after that because they maybe don't meet the guidelines in terms of income. It's a little bit extra work. I wouldn't say it's onerous, so we can certainly continue with 10 vouchers if that's desirable.
Okay. I would accept that as a friendly amendment if we like to keep 10 vouchers aside for low income.
Deputy Mayor Malash?
And I'm fine with that as well. I think I was the seconder on it.
Okay. Anything further? All in favor of the motion? Motion carried.
Item C is Building Department, Report 2015-01, and it's the January 2015 Building Report.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Malash. Proceed. Supported by Councillor Bjorkman. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries.
Item D is Planning Department, Report Number 2015-01, and this is in reference to the street opening request for part of Lot 19, Plan 12R2-1183, and this is on South Talbot Road. The recommendation is that a bylaw declaring Part 19, 12R2-1183 a public right-of-way.
I'll move the recommendation.
Councillor Cancero moves, Councillor Vokes supports. Deputy Mayor Malash, question.
Thank you, through your worship, to Mr. Watson. There's obviously got to be a reason why we would want to do this. What changes as far as the town's responsibility once we declare this open? Is it now that we have to take over the maintenance of that part of the road, or were we already responsible for it? What about snow plowing versus not snow plowing, and so on?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, yes, we take over maintenance of the road, but technically we're doing it anyway. The road is technically closed. It's essentially landlocking the properties along that road, but it physically has been there for several years. You know, the paved services are there, and so it's more of a legal action as opposed to any physical work we are doing or not doing. Nothing much is going to change that way.
Follow-up?
Yes, sir.
So I guess my next question would be, someone's requesting us to open this up. It wasn't something that we decided to do on our own, I believe.
Yes, that's correct. There's a piece of property that's for sale, and the condition of the sale was that the road be opened up for public access, because technically it's a landlocked parcel.
Thank you.
At this
That's what I
point.
wanted to know.
Anything further? All in favor of the motion? Motion carries.
Item E, Planning Department, Report Number 2015-02, and this has to do with the part lot control exemption request of Real Law Enterprises Limited.
I'll move the recommendation.
Councillor Caxero moves, Councillor Bjorkman supports. Any questions to the motion? All in favor? Motion carries.
Item F is Planning Report Number 2015-03 regarding the release of securities for Goodbourne Crescent and Gallows subdivision.
Moved by Councillor Vokes, supported by Councillor Bjorkman. Any questions to the motion? All in favor? Motion carries.
Item G, Infrastructure and Development, Report Number Municipal Drainage 2015-01, regarding the appointment of a drainage engineer to prepare a report for a new access culvert over the south town line drain.
I'll move the recommendation.
Moved by Councillor Caxero, supported by Deputy Mayor Malash. Councillor Caxero, question?
Through your worship to Jeff, was there an existing, like, how did they access the property prior to? It says that there wasn't an, or there isn't an access currently. No idea?
I'm not familiar with this.
Okay.
I think Mr. Nepsy's department, and he's away, so.
Just curious for the sake of, if there was already an access, sometimes the idea is they're asking for another access, and then they're looking at trying to divide up property and whatnot.
Our clerk can give you a little bit of into that.
Through your worship, at the beginning of the report, it states that the property has just been acquired. In order to access this property, a new access culvert is required. Just. And as far as anything else, I'm not aware of any other provisions behind this report.
That's fine.
Deputy Mayor Malash?
Just wanted to make a comment on it. If it's the property, I think it is, it was maybe severed from a house that was there with a barn. And the house kept, because the family still has an operation with the barn, they kept the barn, but I think possibly this is going to be their expense. In any case, it's probably part of their severance agreement that they have to have an access put in. So this is just getting the ball rolling so that they've got access. I believe that's what's happening here anyway.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Phillips?
Thank you, Your Worship. The financial impact, it does state that the landowner is responsible for all of the costs.
Ready for the question? All in favor? Motion carries.
Item H, Corporate Services, Report Number 2015-02. This is regarding year-end transfers to reserves from the operating budget, and there are two recommendations with the report.
I'll move both the recommendations.
Moved by Councillor Caxero, supported by Councillor Snively. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carries.
Item 9, correspondence. A is Canada Post, and this is a reply from Canada Post regarding council's letter regarding the town's concerns with community mailboxes.
Councillor Bonnie moves, supported by Deputy Mayor Malash. Any questions? Councillor Vokes.
This is just a letter indicating. Thank you, Your Worship. This is merely a letter indicating of their intent, right? So, do we know what their next step is? Does anybody know that? Well, I don't assume we would have no way of knowing that, right? Because I just don't want to receive a letter, and then somehow they initiate it, and then they go, well, we told you. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want the initiation of the letter to be a opportunity for them to eliminate door-to-door and go with community boxes, that's all.
We have a letter from Canada Post. The clerk just says I could read you this one little paragraph you'd like. Over the next few years, residents in your area who are impacted by the change will receive an information package in the mail that informs them how they can express their priorities and preferences about their new delivery method. That's over the next few years. This feedback will be shared with local leaders and planning departments so that we can collectively determine the best solutions.
So I guess we can read that as it's going to be a couple years from this point before they initiate it and put it into place.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
But I did talk to a letter carrier yesterday, and she was telling me, I forget how many we have in Essex, but we're going down to 5 regular delivery routes and 1 part-time route from, and I forget if it was 9 and 2, something like that.
Because the only reason I said that, if everybody heard Mayor Gary McNamara on the radio the other morning, and I actually had some dialogue with Gary about that, in terms of that elimination. So I just want to make sure that receiving of this letter is merely no more than receiving it. It's not agreeing to anything in terms of elimination, so. Just so we can be on record as saying that here tonight, right? That none of us agree that that's agreeing to eliminating, just receive it. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Malash.
With that being said, Councillor Vokes, it might be a good idea to send them a letter saying that we don't agree, because then on record we are. Because I'm going to give you an example of what's happened. Going back about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe even 5, they changed part of RR1 McGregor to RR2 Essex. And really, I called a number of times to express my opinion to the Canada Post that I didn't think it was right. The residents didn't want that to happen. And they kept saying, we understand, we'll take a look at it. And in the end, without any warning, they just changed their address. All of these individuals had to go in, and those who had addresses that said RR1 McGregor had to change all of their addresses on their Visa cards and their MasterCards, their bank accounts, and so on, to RR2 Essex. Needless to say, I had residents that said, I didn't see it once at council that you disagreed. It never did get brought up, and I didn't bring it up, but perhaps I should have at the time, asking for a letter that Canada Post don't change it. So it might be worth putting a letter out saying that we don't agree.
Is that a motion, sir?
I'll put that motion on the
Right,
floor.
we have one on the floor.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I can come back to you. Any further to the motion? All in favor? Motion carries. Deputy Mayor Malash?
Yeah, I was going to let Councillor Vokes do it.
No, yeah, absolutely. Take the
Okay,
lead,
so
Rich. Don't matter.
I'll put a motion forward that we send a letter to Canada Post just stating Town of Essex's position that we're not in favor of this move, and we would like it delayed permanently if we can, and if not delayed or not permanently put to rest, that we do not have it, then delayed as long as possible.
And I will certainly second that.
Okay, thank you. Any questions to the motion? Councillor Bondi?
And just possibly that we stay informed of any changes, and that we welcome them to come talk to us again, hopefully in the near future.
That's a good point. Thank you. Yes, please add that.
Friendly addition, Deputy Mayor Malash says yes, and the seconder, Councillor Vokes, says yes. Ready for the question? All in favor? Motion carries.